All right. Okay, so today we're going to cover two things. We're going to look at what movement does the saddle have as a horse rides or works under different gaits, and we're going to talk about how to, as riders, understand what you need to do in your body to stay with that. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to look at the trot. So I'm going to put my horse out here at the trot, and I want you to watch, you know, the movement of the saddle. You know, not only is there kind of an up, down, but I want you to notice that the back of the saddle actually rocks to the right and the left as he's going around in his trot gait. So when I talk about sitting the trot, the front end is kind of like a pogo stick. That's where you get the up, down, or the jarring effect. And then the back end is more of a rocking motion. So in order to properly sit the trot, you actually have to be able to do both of those. Now, if you sit too forward, like up on your pubic bone, you're going to feel the jarring of the front legs, okay? If you sit further back, you're going to actually feel more of the motion with the back legs, the rocking back and forth, the right, left, as the hips drop. You can also just watch what the hips do as you're, riding horses or riding with other horses. You can see that as the one hind leg is picking up and moving forward, that hip on that side will drop. So when people need to learn how to ride the trot, I encourage them to sit back more and get more in sync with what the hindquarters is doing. Get that first, and then you can add in a little bit of the following the up-down motion. So, but most people try to follow just the up-down motion, and they can never get comfortable sitting the trot. Eventually, they end up jarring themselves out of the saddle or just bracing and hovering above the saddle instead of truly sitting the gait. So one of the advantages of learning how to sit and follow that hindquarters motion is also you'll actually begin to feel for your diagonal without having to look at the front shoulder to feel what's going on. There is a method to learn how to feel for your horse's diagonal, and it's about feeling what the hind end is doing, feeling when the inside hind is moving forward, which means the outside front would be moving forward. So, okay, the next thing that I want to look at, I'm going to check my girth real quick, is we're going to look at the canter. And basically, when it comes to sitting the canter, you're going to see as the horse goes around that there's going to be a lot of movement that would throw a rider forward in the canter. That's a natural thing that happens to riders as they ride the canter, and because of that, we need to actually put effort in getting into the backside of the saddle during a certain moment of the canter stride, and then relaxing and letting the saddle itself roll us forward at another moment. So let's look at the canter here. I want you to watch what the saddle is doing. Okay, so you can kind of see how the back end will kind of throw you forward. And there's kind of a diagonal roll in the saddle depending on what lead the horse is on. So as you are cantering around on this left lead, the roll tends to go from inside hind to outside front if you watch the saddle. I'll change directions here, and then we're going to talk about what moment of the stride throws you forward and what moment of the stride you need to make the effort to kind of push back in the saddle and get connected and get on your center point again. So as the front legs are off the ground and reaching forward in the uphill part of the canter stride, that's when we need to actually push back into the back side of the saddle with our pelvis. And then as the hindquarters comes up and through, that's the moment that actually throws you forward. You just relax your hips and let your hips roll with the forward roll of the saddle. So let's watch that saddle again. Okay, so the uphill part of the stride, that's the part where you'd be pushing back, and then you would relax and go forward. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say back during the moment that you would be in the saddle, pushing back into the back side of the saddle to prepare for that other moment in the stride. So here we go. Now, 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 now. Okay, so that would be the moment that you actually push back into the saddle. Okay, as it rolls forward, there's a moment where it comes up. Okay, and then throws you forward. So what we learned from this is when sitting the canter, we actually need to make a concerted effort to get back into the back side of that saddle, because it's very easy with the horse's rhythm and movement of its body that they will throw you forward as the stride goes, and that's a very common thing. Once you get thrown forward, then the horse starts to move on the front end and so on and so forth. So learning how to push yourself back at the right moment in the canter stride is really important to keeping your seat in the proper position while cantering. So those are the things that I wanted to point out, and hopefully this little segment has been helpful. You know, we will talk more on how do you practice and learn how to do this in your body and push back in the saddle at the right moment, and then let your body relax and roll forward with the roll of the saddle as you're sitting any of these gaits, a trot or a canter. So, all right, thank you for your attention.